right. Ooh, it's a little crooked. Just getting things set up here for a moment. Oops. If anyone pops on, please let me know how the sound is. All right. And one more thing, need some light, shed some light on this subject. Today I'm using a mic, so praise Jesus, maybe the sound will be better. That is my hope, my fervent prayer. Let's see. Oops, now we're gonna have to do this. Let me see here how we're doing. Oh, good. Hey, Susan. I'm so happy to see you here. This is great. Okay. They actually let you know. That is wonderful. I'm trying to adjust my setup. I am super chill today, so it's going to be a bit chill for a while, I think. But I think that's good, right? We don't need to be bouncing off the walls. And then I'm like coughing and hacking. Let's turn the volume on my iPad down. How about that? Now, all right, we're getting somewhere. I'd like to kind of bring this. This is the spread that I want to work on today. Oops. And, oh yeah, thanks. Oh, I'm still crooked. Let me keep working on this for just a minute while we let some people come in if anyone wants to come in. All right, that's a little bit less crooked. Now, if I can just kind of go backwards with this, but keep it straight. Okay, I have to do this. Which way? How's everybody doing today? If you pop in, definitely say hi if you want to. And let us know what you're up to. And by us, I mean me, because I'm the only one here today. No, that's still not straight. I don't know which direction. Okay, how about look at the camera? Okay, there. That should be straight. There. All right, you guys. We're getting somewhere. Oh, Link, hi. I'm so happy to see you here. Susan, this is my friend Link I was telling you about on the phone. And Link, this is my good friend Susan in the comments if you guys want to meet. All right. And so, yeah, hopefully this stream will be a little bit longer than my usual ones. I don't have my phone plugged into power, and I'm using a mic, and I'm streaming by myself to try to avoid any of the problems with the audio. So if you guys are in here, excuse me, and anything goes weird with the audio, do let me know. Just so, I'm not going to freak out about it. I just want to know so I can adjust things. And furthermore, we're having a huge storm outside. So of course that might mess with the Wi-Fi a little bit. Anyway, oh yeah, oh that's awesome. Yeah, she has a great channel Link. Susan is a tremendously talented artist, just as you are, and also has been painting for much of her life, but took like a big break. um, from painting for a number of years and has recently kind of come back to it in the last number of years. Okay, not my story to tell. Sorry. Um, anyway, so today, though, what I want to talk about while I paint this spread, um, is kind of the story of what happened with Ernie, my little mini dachshund, who recently became paralyzed with what's called IVDD, intervertebral disc disease. And it is a thing that dachshunds have. Like 1 in 4 dachshunds have this disorder, and it's kind of a genetic thing, and you can do a lot to prevent it being from kind of like occurring with them, but you can't really stop it from happening all the time. A lot of times you just kind of have to deal with it when it does flare up. And he's had a really, really bad flare recently, and he became paralyzed like 2 weeks ago Saturday. And this is not so much the topic that I'm going to talk about as the gifts and the wonderful things that happened surrounding this experience of him becoming paralyzed. As terribly scary as it was, there were so many things, so many serendipitous occurrences that happened surrounding this time that I just feel it's strongly on my heart to share what can happen through prayer and through, you know, choosing not to look to the worst, even in situations that feel really scary. Um, and there's a thing called taking our thoughts captive, which I've talked about in my videos before. And it's basically choosing to just not panic. And I know we're talking about a dog here and not a life and death situation with a human being, which is so very different. And I completely understand that. I completely do. But, our son is grown up and it's just me and my husband and the 2 dogs, and we're very much homebodies. So for us, it's like the dogs are really important to us. We're constantly interacting with them. And of course, they are just pets, but they're also pet family members, if that makes sense. And so much of our time is spent with them here at home. And, I tend to dote on them because I'm, a typical Jewish mother, even though I'm a believer. I'm a Jewish woman who, um, we're ethnic. We're a little bit over the top. We're a little bit much. Hi, Mellow. Hey, so happy to have you here too. Oh, this is great. What a group of folks. This is tremendous. Yes, yes, totally, Susan. Like love is love. We love our pets. We love people. We love the Lord. We love everybody. So, okay. Anyway, so with this going on, I need a smaller brush. That was not working out. This is supposed to be like a bright, bright yellow with um with like dark green accents. And I'm actually using the Kuretake paints because I love this new Art Nouveau kind of like color scheme. And what I've discovered with these is if you use them like watercolors, really thin layers and so forth, you really don't get the shininess that you do if you go in more like gouache y with how you use them. Like here, this portrait part is all with, and she's not done. Like her face is kind of in a middle stage, but it's all with the Kuretake, and so it's not shiny at all. And I think if you just go in with like slightly lighter layers, you don't get that shininess. I'm also using a little bit of my Sennelier paints. One of the colors that actually, Susan, that you sent me, and I hope this is okay to say, but hi, Susan Artfully. Welcome. But today is Susan's birthday. So everyone, please wish her a happy birthday in the comments. She is just going to have a beautiful, mellow birthday. Not mellow like mellow, mellow like not mellow in the comments. You guys, I'm so dumb. Why do I even say these things? Obviously, duh. And please don't be mad. I just realized, Susan, I should have asked before I shouted out your birthday. I mean, yeah, but maybe we're among friends, right? Oh, please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry, but everyone loves you. So I know they're going to want to wish you a happy birthday if they know. Okay, anyway. Oh, I hope, yeah, she's probably really mad. Oh, don't be mad. Okay. I promise I don't like talk about people's like private stuff without their permission, but sometimes I feel like a birthday maybe isn't as private. Oh, good. Okay, she's not mad. Sorry, I should have asked you first. I feel so bad. Okay, moving along. Let's move along. Anyway, so with Ernie, so he got injured on Saturday. I was at work and my son was here with his girlfriend and they were visiting. He just got done with his officer training school. He's been gone for 5 months and he lives near us, but like 5 hours or so away. So right after he got back, he and his girlfriend came to visit for the weekend and to visit some of their other friends from here. And the dogs love my son so much, and they play really hard with him. And, we are careful with Ernie because we know he has this IVDD, but it's been a really long time since he's had a flare up or a problem. And sometimes it's easy to forget that he's got this. And so the kids were playing with him, and he is obsessed with his ball. And he was running with his ball, and he like got his foot caught or something. I don't know. Something slipped. I wasn't here to see it. I don't know exactly what happened, but all of a sudden he screamed, and he was paralyzed on his left side, like immediately. And so my husband texted me or called me actually at work and was like, "Oh no, what do we do?" And I told him, what meds to give Ernie and to put him in his crate. And of course, then I had to work the rest of the day and I was very worried. And when I came home, it was worse. He was by then paralyzed on both sides, and we couldn't tell if he had any deep pain sensation in his back legs. We couldn't get him to go potty, and it was just like, it was a lot. And then I had to work the next day, but luckily my husband was home with him, and yeah, it wasn't super fun. So anyway, so then the next day it kind of got worse. We had to keep him in his crate, and he is like with us all the time. So he hated it, and he was just screaming and wanted out of his crate. And so my husband like would take him out and just keep him next to him on the couch. But then Ernie would like not realize that he was paralyzed and try to like plunge off the couch. Like if somebody came to the door or whatever, it was just like a mess. And I had called the emergency vet on Saturday and on Sunday, and it was a vet I know. And I mean, Ernie's been going there for his whole life, and our other dog, Toon, also has been going there for her whole life. And they're in there a fair bit. So, like, they know us. And this vet was like, no, he doesn't need to come in. It's not an emergency. Just give him the meds and make an appointment for Monday. And I was like, well, can we just bring him in because I'm worried about him going to the bathroom and all this stuff. He was like, no, oh, artfully, Susan, he's a mini wiener dog. But he's like 18 pounds. He's like a big one, a big mini wiener dog. So anyway, so then the vet wouldn't let us bring him in. And at that point, we thought that this was like a death sentence. We didn't think that this was survivable. Like if he was paralyzed and in so much pain, and like the meds were kind of barely working, and we weren't being offered anything else to help with it. And we just didn't really know, because the first time he had a flare up, he wasn't paralyzed. He was just in pain. So we like crate rested him and gave him the meds, and they really helped. And he was out of pain. And he also got acupuncture the first time, and he was out of pain pretty fast. So anyway, so the vet was like, well, just call Monday for a same day appointment. If you call right at 8 a.m., we save 9 appointments for every, for in the morning. Well, I've tried to do that before. And anytime I've called right at 8, it's been busy, busy, busy. And by the time I get through, there are no appointments left. I mean, we live in a fairly small town, so it's really hard to get in. There aren't enough vets and all of this. So I was hoping to nip that in the bud by getting him in. And we even offered to like pay, above the appointment cost for an emergency appointment. They're just like, no, we won't see him. I was like, awesome, thanks. So Monday comes, I call at 8 a.m. and I was super praying, and my husband and my son and his girlfriend, and we were all praying over the dog over the weekend. And my mom was praying from her home about Ernie. And so we were all just like really invested in working on having, the Lord around him and only good energy and stuff like that. And so when I got through Monday morning, I was thrilled because that's never really happened before. And I brought him in that day at like 1 o'clock or something. And the vet saw me and was like, he's doing pretty well. He has deep pain sensation in his toes when he squeezed them. Ernie would like withdraw his legs a little bit, or not withdraw his legs. I'm sorry. He would kind of like wiggle his body, like the parts that he could move. So you could tell he could feel it. And the vet was like, this is really positive and promising that he can do this. And I was like, okay, well, that gives me hope. And he said that 50% of them will recover, to at least being able to like be in a wheelchair with this, where they're not like just in pain all the time. And because, that wouldn't be a quality of life for him. Obviously, we wouldn't let him continue like that if he was not going to be able to do anything but like be in his crate or never move or whatever. And so anyway, he gave me more pain meds for him, just like refills on the ones we had. And they had him on Neurontin or gabapentin, and a medication that's like an ibuprofen for dogs, and a what was he on at the time? That he was on a third med, because they've added to it since then. Were those the only two? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. I can't remember. Sorry. Anyway, there was another med. I'm a little tired, you guys. I'm so sorry. But anyway, and I have his meds written down downstairs and little alarms for when I have to give them every day. He gets them 3 times a day at different times. So anyway, that was okay. But for the remainder of the week, he clearly wasn't in pain, but he would scream anytime we left him in the crate. He would just scream bloody murder and bite at the crate like bars. I mean, I had it very cozy for him in there, but he would bite at the door and it would cause his like mouth to bleed, like big drops of blood. I was like, dude, can you just be in the crate? So I would try to just sit with him. And the first week, all I was doing was sitting with him. But if I even had to get up for anything, I had to carry him with me. And he is like dead weight. And I know that's like, he's only 18 pounds, but that's heavy when you pick him up and put him down 1,000 times and he's like flopping all around. It was kind of a mess. So amidst all of that, it just felt like very scary. And I'm kind of a wuss. Like I have my patterns, my things I like to do in the day, and I'm old. I'm 52. Maybe I'm not that old, but you kind of go through your day and you're used to doing things the way you do them. And suddenly you now have this like 18-pound toddler that screams every time you put him down. And it was really stressing me out. There was a lot of noise in the house, and I'm like, I don't know about you, but I can take most anything, but I'm really sensitive to noise. Um, it just is really hard to just have like any kind of like loud, constant sounds that I can't like do anything about. And then, of course, I know that he's like stressed, and that's super stressing me out. I have a ton of empathy for anybody. It like, you guys know I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and I like, it took me probably 20 years. I've been doing this for 27 years. Took me maybe 20 years before I could have an unmedicated labor patient and not go home with like a migraine from neck stress, from like the fact that they were suffering and I couldn't do anything about it other than, techniques like positioning and support and stuff. And I'd be with them like through their whole labor. But if their choice was to go unmedicated, I wanted to support that. But personally, like I was ingesting all that stress of like, you know, the moaning and the screaming. And it's like I had to get to a place where, okay, this is something that I'm not supposed to be fixing, right? And I would never try. I would never like put that on my patients, but I was like internalizing it all through the shift. And then when I would go home, I would end up with this like huge migraine because I'd be like, I don't know, like taking on all that pain they were feeling, even though it was pain that was good for them to have, it was moving them toward their delivery and it was a good thing. And okay, so you guys get what I'm saying. So now I'm like in my sanctuary in my home, and the dog is just so loud and like crying, and I want him to be comfortable. And he wasn't really like sleeping very much. He just kept wanting to do all the things he would normally do, and he would just like propel himself off the couch even if I leaned back on the couch. um if I just had like one arm on him, he would hear a noise and like jump up and like fly off the couch, which of course is super stressful. But then I'd be like, oh my gosh, he's limiting his chances that he's gonna, walk again every time he does this. And it wasn't like a lot of times, but it happened like 2 or 3 times, where he would do this and I wouldn't catch him and I'd be like, and jump up. You get it. You guys are human beings. You get it. I don't know why I feel the need to explain things to such a degree that it is so obvious already. Anyway, so that was kind of like the first week. And I feel like this is a complaining fest, but it really, really isn't. Um, there are so many wonderful things that happened, but I'm just trying to set the stage of like the stress. So, so then on, and again, I know this is not stressful, like compared to human beings with serious illnesses and other things like that. Trust me, I know that. This is just my recent experience. So please take this all with a grain of salt. So anyway, um, he, okay, so he became incontinent like on the third day. And in a way, we were happy for that because then we knew um, that he was, oh, Link. Oh, thank you, Link. I'm trying to do these colors in um, sort of a cohesive way, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to incorporate this portrait. I will promise I'll post that. Also, let me just say something really quick. I wanted to show you guys where I was at with the last portrait that I had worked on in the other live stream. So I really don't know where to go from here, but this is it. Let me show you. I'm waiting for, okay, there. Can I bring it down? There we go. Okay, so you can see the whole thing. Um, yeah, I know the fur babies are important. And it's like we just don't want anybody suffering, right? And like animal, human, anybody, and it hurts when they're suffering. So okay, so this is the one from the other day. I don't really know where to go from here, how to like delineate that this is the cheek and the wing kind of. So if anyone has any ideas, throw them out. I want to post this one when it's done, but it's not done yet. I've just been working on it little by little. And I know the colors here look really muddy, but this is actually purposeful. This is supposed to be like kind of, I don't know, dark looking in this area. And I was also thinking about doing like wing, um, what do you call it? Eyelashes? Anyway, so that's that. But so okay, so back to the story. Um, so he became incontinent and he sleeps in the bed with us. So that was fun. We put mattress, like waterproof mattress pad, and then pads, like those potty pads, these ginormous ones over that, and then our sheet, and then like potty pads on top. But he would like, it was just the first night when he was incontinent. We were like, what do we do? Because we didn't have any like dog diapers. So he peed like everywhere, and we had to change the sheets like twice in the middle of the night. And my husband gets up for work at like 4 a.m. It was an ordeal. But I know we could have put him in the crate, but then he would have screamed all night. And the other thing with him, like scream crying, is that um, it's like bad for his healing, right? If he's super stressed, we don't want him stressed like that. And we sleep with him. We always have since he was a tiny puppy, and with Tune. So it's like just part of our routine. So we're like, okay, so we have to change the sheets. So we were doing so much laundry. It was like just in that first day that he became incontinent. And I was like, we need diapers for him. We can't just have him on these potty pads. Um, and so I called this local place, this local pet store that's wonderful. It's like it was owned by, it's a multi generational pet store, and the owner, it used to be owned by this woman who then handed it down to her daughter, and now she's training her daughter to take it over. So they're just really wonderful people, and they've like helped us a lot in the past with like puppies and stuff that we've had with our two dogs when they were puppies. Anyway, so I called them and I was like, hey girl, so Ernie has IVDD and I need some diapers. And she's like, well, we don't have diapers, but we have the like cloth diapers that go on the outside. She's like, but you can put like um, period pads inside and do that. And then you can order them on Amazon. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I told her my husband would come get some of those cloth diapers that like wrap around their belly. And now we have these. They're right here. I have like my diaper changing stand. Okay, this is the diaper for the dog. Isn't that funny? Like it looks like a literal diaper for a baby. They're great. These are on Amazon. It's like $20 for a box of 40 of them or something. So that's nice. Okay. Anyway, so when I was talking to her, she said, is he getting acupuncture? And I said, yes, but the acupuncturist, oh, I forgot to say that, can't see him until Monday. So it's going to be a whole week. And yeah, yeah. And hi, Ike. Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry. Oh, let me go back to the comments too. Link said, beautiful. I think it looks great the way it is. My hubby loves that. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Link. And yes, Ike, hi. And yeah, the diapers are super cool. So I'm talking to her and she goes, oh, well, I know of a retired, what do you call it? What do you call it? Chiropractor in the town, in our town, who loves to work on dogs, and he's trained in acupuncture, and he's amazing. He got these dogs back to walking after they had been paralyzed for months. and you really should go see him. And I said, oh my gosh. She goes, and he works for free. He just does it for the love of dogs. And he's like in his 70s, and you really should call him and go see him. And I was like, you're kidding. So she gave me his number. She goes, but honestly, it's the summer and he sometimes is out of town. So hopefully he'll be around and you can see him. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And I was praying about it. And so I called, and it was like, I don't know, 3 in the afternoon. And the guy answered, and I was like, hi, this is my name. And so from such and such pet store recommended you and said that you work on dogs and you do acupuncture and chiropractic. He's like, oh, absolutely. He's like, what's going on? And I told him what was going on with Ernie. And he said, okay, well, I'm going to be home at 7 o'clock tonight. We're just getting back from traveling. Would you like to bring him over tonight? And I was like, you're kidding. He's like, no, absolutely. Yeah. I'll call you when we're back. So he called me, and he was ready a little bit earlier even. And he's like, yeah, bring Ernie over. So, I mean, isn't that serendipitous? And it's just such a God thing, I feel like, that, I mean, if Ernie hadn't become incontinent and I hadn't called, like, I never would have known about, I don't know. It's like the good and the bad, you know? So, I called. Okay, so we brought him over to the guy, and he was like an old rancher, very strong and all this stuff. He just like looked at Ernie and evaluated him, and he's like, yep, here we go. And he like did something to his hips, and he's like, oh yeah, he's really tight. And then he acupunctured his like back legs, and he did it all like really fast. And he's like, okay, he's good to go. Call me Monday, and I'd like to see him again, and we'll go from there. He's like, I think I can get him walking again. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know what to think. I was like, what do we owe you? And he's like, nothing. He's like, seriously, nothing. I just really like to do this for the dogs. You guys, I want this to be like a brighter color. These mushrooms, let me show you what these mushrooms look like that I'm trying to paint. Here they are. Can I do this without making a horrendous mess? That is the question. Here we go. This is, see these green mushrooms? That's what I'm working on. This is from my Pinterest page. I have so many boards, Pinterest boards, if you guys want to check it out. Okay, anyway. And that color is much more of like a minty color. So I think I'm going to use my Sennelier paints that Susan, one of the colors Susan sent me. So hi, Ike. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just love that you guys are all chatting with each other and stuff. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. I was just reading the comments. I sound like a crazy person. Sorry. All right. Back to whatever. Back to talking. So I'm going to add this like teal color in. This like teal Sennelier color right here, because I think it will make this green a little bit more punchy. Let's see what this does. I'm mixing it so you guys can kind of see it. I just don't have a color quite like that like super punchy green like that. Anyway, so we got Ernie home, and he was really uncomfortable. He didn't sleep well that night, and we were unsure about like what had happened with the chiropractor, but we felt like it would be good. We felt like it was going to be okay. And then the next day, he was like a different dog. He wasn't screaming like nearly as much at all, and he was laying down on his sides. And we realized that he hadn't been like able to lay down on his like sides or tummy without something like pushed under him to like hold him up. So obviously his hips had been very, very tight and rigid and uncomfortable. And that chiropractor had fixed that. And since then, it's just gotten better and better in terms of like his comfort. Like if I could show you guys right now, he's laying here next to me. We've since added like major tranquilizers. So he's sleeping a lot better. He's on like trazodone and um, the gabapentin and a muscle relaxer. So he's way more comfortable, which is so great. And we basically, we just felt really hopeful. Okay, so moving along. We kept, I'm just forgetting parts of the story. And it's important because all of it. Okay, so I have chronic illness and autoimmune disease and chronic shingles, which is super fun. And I get shingles every single time life gets really stressful. So I have like a regimen for treating it, but I tend to have like a high fever for a couple days. So shingles shingles kicked in on like day 3 of all this. So it's like Wednesday and Ernie's feeling better, but now I'm getting the shingles, right? So trying to treat that. I'm feeling terrible. I I have to work all weekend, and this was my night shift weekend I was going into. So and we've been really understaffed. We have like 4 moms, 4 nurses out that have had babies, praise God, recently. So because of that, though, we're really understaffed. So I was like, I have to be at work. I have to get better with my shingles. And you know how, like, when you feel like you have to get better, the stress of that can make you get worse. So that's kind of what happened. So the shingles, like, came out with a vengeance. And I ended up getting like a whole new spot where they were rearing their shingly head, shingly ugliness. Um, and that was fun. And so because of that, I was like really sick. And going into the weekend, things were so busy. We ended up having 3 deliveries within like 5 hours, 2 nights of the weekend. And that means admitting the patient, managing their labor. Um, the admission is hard because it takes about an hour and a half to chart. Delivering the baby, charting the delivery, admitting the baby. If the baby has problems or anything, we have to do all the NICU stuff with that. And it's just 3 of us. So those 2 nights we had like 3 labors and like 4 mom babies. It was insane. So like way more than we should have been able to handle. And all I did was I just kept praying. And this, while I'm like recovering from the shingles, and it's okay for me to like be at work with it because I take an antiviral. And once I've been on the antiviral for like a certain amount of time, it's like not transmissible unless I were to like dip my finger in the shingles like things and stick them on a person, which God, I would never do, of course. So this is getting so interesting. I know this story is like absolutely thrilling. I'm so sorry, but there are points to all of it. I apologize. Now I'm blowing my nose too. How many things can I do on this live stream that are like unpleasant? Okay. Anyway, so I just kept praying through the weekend and I was like, Lord, please keep everybody safe. We had so many difficult deliveries that could have gone really badly. And you know how you're just like, if anything, I'm going to move to these mushrooms right here now, finally, just for a while, let this dry. This looks muddy here, but it's going to look better, I promise. So I just had to just do what I always do. I was like, Lord, I need you. I need you with me. I need you keeping these moms and babies safe from all harm. We can't risk having anything happen. And just, oh, sorry. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to read. Oh, thank you, Link. I feel like it's a gift to me that I can be a nurse. Thank you. And Susan artfully says, I've sat for over an hour at times after the end of my shift charting. Hospitals these days makes it so hard. All the work and no time to chart. Oh, girl, you know it. You know it. And Mello says that he's good. He's ink sketching and enjoying my cootie dumping. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. Thanks, Mello. And I need to watch your live stream. Oh, and I'm sorry, Link just put up an incredible video. If you're into digital art and doing your artwork or your practices on a digital format, she put like this over an hour long beautiful study on her channel and just talks all about her life and her faith and how to use the digital tools, which that program's amazing. It's not one I've ever used, but I'm very intrigued by it. And it taught me so much. And Link, trust and believe, I have so many things still I want to add and talk to you about. So I will to my comment. Okay. Um, so yes, a link. Susan Artfully is also a nurse, and she is works at a school with students. She's a student nurse, like a what am I trying to say? Like a school nurse. And I can't even imagine the pressure of that job in today's climate, like with everything. Yeah, it's a lot, but I'm sure she's really, really good at it. So, okay, where was I? Um, oh yes, and like yes, Link, you deserve all the shout outs. She's an oil painter, guys, and her oil paintings are like of a level I can't even imagine. Like she's so skilled, and also she says she's not talented, but she clearly is. She should be in galleries. And I don't know, Link, maybe you have been in galleries. Have you talked about that? How do you go about marketing your work? Because you have these big, beautiful pieces. Are they commissions? Anyway, you guys go to Linkus Arts channel. She has a newer channel, and she definitely would, I'm sure, be grateful for the subs. We all have been there just starting out. I mean, I still have a very small channel, but I remember the first like 100, it's we need all the support we can get in these endeavors, but not because of her artwork, just because of the nature of YouTube, we all know. And then of course, Artfully Becoming is um, oh, just word of mouth. Okay. All right. Well, I bet it's a good word of mouth because your art is next level, like no joke. And yeah, Mellow, I know. She's incredibly talented. Like I can't even fathom it. And also, please go check out Artfully Becoming. Susan is on a journey of learning watercolor, and she is very bold and brave and is putting up her work as she goes along, though she's pulled back a little bit recently. You got to keep uploading artfully. All right, so where was I? So, the weekend. So, the Lord was with me through the whole weekend, and He was so good to me, so good to my patients. He protected every mom and every baby from harm. We had so many specific cases that could have gone really sideways, and they absolutely did not. Everything was just beautiful and safe. And all right, that's reddish and whitish. And literally, I felt like He was just with me the entire weekend. And there were many times during the weekend, oh, that's the wrong color, during the weekend where I felt like He was speaking directly to me and just telling me that He had me and to try to like slow down and to take it easy. And it was just, as much as these really stressful times are not something I look forward to by any means, in a way, the fact that they bring me closer to Jesus than when it's things are just kind of like humming along like smoothly. There's a gift and there's joy in that I mean, we all know that there is joy even during the most difficult times if you're in Christ, because it's that underlying knowledge that no matter what, everything is okay because you're with Him and He's with you, and He works everything together for His purposes, for the good of those who believe. And we feel that, right? So that was coming through really, really strong this weekend. And then Saturday night or Sunday morning when I got home, it was like I was sick again almost. I'm trying to find a good red color for this light red. Maybe we'll go with this pinky color. Can you guys see that? Yeah, maybe not. I need more of a red. Oh, buddy, Ernie might be waking up, so I might have to take care of him. Let me see. What's up, baby boy? I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to just be off camera. I think he needs his little diaper changed because he just woke up. I hope you guys can hear me. Oh yeah, his diaper is wet. So I woke up with a high fever, and that happens sometimes with the shingles. Even if I'm getting better, it can sort of like reflare. And so I was really nervous because I knew I was heading into another night that was going to be crazy. And I just I didn't think I could do it with a fever. And then also I knew that I had to, here, bud, here, baby boy, don't move. I had to take Ernie to the vet on Monday at 1 p.m. And I wasn't getting home until like 8 in the morning most days. And I was like, how am I going to sleep for just a few hours and then go to the vet and have to manage taking him and everything? And this was for his acupuncture appointment. And I was just like, oh, Lord. My husband works Monday, of course. So I was like, just praying so hard that he would help me get through the night. And I promise this story has a point, this part of it. And I was like talking to my husband. I'm like, babe, can you please just be out from work Monday? And he's like, yeah, actually, my hand is going to be off Monday and that might work out okay. I was like, please just stay home. And that way you can take Ernie to the vet and I can sleep and I really need to rest. He's like, yes, of course. So I was kind of relieved from that. That gave me some peace of mind going into the night on Sunday. All right, baby boy, do you want to drink a water? I have to give him water in these little cups like this and just give him water like every couple hours. Here, do you want some? Do you want some? You gotta sit up a little. Okay, he doesn't. He's like, I'm just sleeping, Mom. So good. Okay, so back to the story. My husband said he could take him. I'm heading into work. I'm just like feeling just terrible. And the fever, I know it's not due to like being infectious at that point. It was because my body was just like autoimmuning itself into oblivion. So I was like, I went to work, and for the first night in the entire weekend, we were not busy. We had had extra discharges that weren't planned. I thought we were going into like almost a full floor, but this time we had extra discharges, and I had a baby that was in the NICU that I was going to be with, which is often, kind of stressful, but this baby was very stable, and the pediatrician just wanted her in there, just as like an abundance of caution. And it's hard to explain, but there were a number of things about the care plan that made it very easy for me to monitor her, where normally we have like Q2-hour vitals, full set of vitals with multiple blood pressures. And then, of course, they're on oxygen and they have their IV antibiotics or whatever is going on. I won't go into too much detail, but what I'm getting at is her case was like a lot less complicated. And I was able just to be in the NICU and just focus on her and not like the whole floor and running back and forth with labors and stuff that's like really not fun to do. And of course, my fever was like better at this point a little bit. I'd taken Motrin. I was feeling a little bit better, but I was working with a crew of like really good staff. We're all really close friends, and that was so nice. And we just all were able to have each other's backs. And I had prayed before work, like, Lord, I need you to like somehow make this night peaceful. And this is the crazy part. So for the prior 3 weeks, we hadn't had a single day where anybody was sent home on low census, not one person, like of our whole So nobody was sent home on call for 3 weeks. That's how busy it's been. Whereas also we've been sending out help techs looking for extra help every single day for 3 weeks. And this night we had not one single call of a patient like, I need to come in. I think my water broke, et cetera, whatever they would call about. We didn't have a single call. We didn't have a single OB check. Somebody coming in because they had decreased fetal movement, or they thought they were in labor, or they fell, or whatever. We did not have a single person in labor. We did not have a single stressful thing of any kind happen the entire night. It was still and quiet, and it was like unheard of for 3 weeks to have, and then to suddenly go to like a night like this with 3 mom babies and 3 nurses on shift. It was such a prayer answered and such a timely thing. And I have to believe, and I don't think that like my request from, yes, God is good, Mellow. That is right. I don't think like my thing in terms of like what I need is going to like supersede the needs of people that are in labor or need to come to the hospital, of course. But God made the night peaceful for everybody, for all the moms out there. Nobody got injured, fell, had bleeding, any of the things that constantly brings people in the doors. None of that happened. So this benefited all of my community too, this answered prayer, because they would have been coming in if they had had problems. A couple other things happened in the night that were really incredible. I won't go into it, but the Lord was telling me, like, this is, I'm giving you peace. I'm giving you what you need tonight. And I was so grateful. Um, let's see, I see comments coming through. Oh, awesome. Oh, good. Ike and Link, you guys have subbed to each other. I love that. And yes, thank you, Jesus. Exactly, Link. Yeah, the it just was so timely, and I was so grateful. Um, I didn't expect that it had to be that way. I would have pushed through, right? Like we do. But man, was it a gift. And I just wanted to talk about it because um, I, I don't know. I think it's really important that when we're blessed by the Lord that we share that. He wants us to share it, and I love sharing it. I love it. Um, I feel I just love Jesus. And if it hadn't been that way, he would have seen me through, like he did all the other days. But it was just like a special, peaceful night, and it was so wonderful. So yeah, I was very, very grateful for that. And then on Monday, my husband took Ernie to the vet. He got his first acupuncture treatment with the acupuncture person at the vet, and she said that, and she did some stuff to his toes, like in between his toe beans. She put like the little needles, and she wanted to open the communication between the nerves in his feet and the nerves in his back. And she said he was actually doing well. He's been on a crash diet since this happened because he isn't mobile. So he needs very minimal food. And we always make sure that he gets like a lot of fiber and stuff. But we've kind of increased his fiber in a different way, and like decreased his calories, with the vet approving. So she's like, as he continues to drop weight, he will do better. And she said she feels very hopeful for him walking again. And she wants us to get him a wheelchair, um, I think next week, so we can start putting him in the wheelchair sometimes so he can move around. She also released a lot of tension in his shoulders and his neck because he's been like using his upper body for stuff. And it was just altogether a really good visit. My husband left feeling like a lot of hope for Ernie. And, I know that my son and his girlfriend feel a lot of guilt, like they were part of what happened. And so that's another reason I really want him to recover. I don't want my son to like carry that. So yeah, so that was the vet visit. And then he's going to see the chiropractic guy again, um, possibly today. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, and last night he was moving his little feet when I was doing his physical therapy. He was pushing back, and when I would squeeze his toes, he would he would move his feet. So the communication is there. He will probably walk again if we can get his weight so that he's not carrying any extra weight and it's not hard on him to lift himself. So it's really exciting, and it's just been such a time to like trust in Jesus and not be in this like trauma response that I've spent so much of my life in when things go wrong, of like me just trying to solve it or like get out of distress as fast as possible. Like in my prior life, I would have been like, let's put him down, just because I didn't know what the outcome would be. And it was too scary to sit in the unknown. And hi, Evie. I'm so glad you're here. Um, and I don't mean that like, oh, let's just put him down. I mean, like, the thought of him suffering at all and like not trusting there could ever be an outcome that would be good. I feel I wouldn't have been comfortable sitting in the unknown. So this has been a very important lesson for me, because I haven't had anything like this really exactly happen, like with health wise, since I've been a believer. I've had things happen in other realms, and the Lord has taught me a lot. So this, oh, just a sec. Let me fix the diaper. Tune, stop licking. You're okay. Of course, Tune is like getting an ear infection in the middle of all this because she has chronic ear infection. You guys, I feel like a Munchausen by proxy dog mom. I'm like telling all these stories about my like unwell dogs. They're normally like super healthy. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say is it's been a very good lesson. And I know that there's going to be a time when I need to have this confidence and comfort in sitting in the unknown for a much bigger circumstance in my life, something with my mom or my husband or my son, God forbid, or, any, God forbid, all of it, but right, or myself or a close friend. Um, and I'm going to need to be able to reflect on this trust. And that's where it all relates to it happening with Ernie. So, yeah. So now I've told this whole huge long story. Um, oh, no, Link, Evie, hi. No, Link is just Link. Linkus is just Link. I don't know if you like to put your name out, Link, and you don't have to at all. But you should go look at her paintings, Evie. She is so talented, so skilled, and uses both together. She feels like she's not talented, and she's had to struggle for her like art skill, but her eye is so good, and I know that that comes from training the eye. So I don't like to put that off on like inborn talent, because I think that discourages other people who feel they don't have it from growing it, because it absolutely grows. But it's so funny, Link, in your video, when you were talking about God given talent versus like skill that we grow, you used words that I almost used exactly in one of my videos, one of my first videos on YouTube, where I was talking about what brought me to art at 47 years old, like 5 years ago now. Um, and that was, I was saying the desire to make art and the passion for it was God given. The skill is something I've had to grow and work on daily for 5 years. So I loved how you described that. It was like exactly the way I see it. So I thought that was crazy. Um, oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Link says, I don't mind Link. Link is good, or Shirley. So Shirley's your name. Wonderful. And then Evie says, I meant Susan referred to herself as Susan number 2. Oh, artfully. Yes, Susan number 2 is artfully. Um, or for artfully, creative ambitions is probably Susan number 2. You guys, this is getting really confusing. I'm like, oh, yeah, everybody's on here. We're all on here. We've got Mellow, we've got Ike, we've got Link, or now we know Link is Shirley, which that's an awesome name, by the way, Shirley. I love it. And let's see, my stomach is growling. How's the audio been, guys? Has it been better or has it still been really bad? I'm really enjoying this spread. I am having so much fun and I'm talking way more than I'm painting, but you guys know that's kind of the vibe for me. I think I should go back to these guys, but I don't know what to do. I think I have to look at the photo reference again. What does anyone think about this portrait? Should I use these kind of colors? I really need to do her face. Maybe let's work on her face a little bit. I'm going to lay down some water here. I just felt I wanted to update everybody. Oh, thank you, guys. Audio's okay. Wonderful, wonderful. I like old school, Link. I think that's awesome. Or Shirley, I should say that. Okay. And Mellow says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. James 1:5. I include the desire to create art. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Sorry, I was looking. And then Susan says, I love the pinks. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I need to do something about her cheeks and to delineate. I have a really hard time leaving hard edges in my portraits because like the face doesn't really have hard edges, but they're necessary because otherwise everything just kind of gets a little bit muddy looking. And it's something I'm trying to bring myself to do, even though it's definitely a challenge for me. All right. Yeah, I need to look up James 1:5. We can look that up in a minute. I got to see what it says. I'm just kind of adding, so I laid down some water and I'm just adding to that kind of wet in wet because it'll be a little less hard-edged. Ooh, Susan. It depends on if you want the graphic style or blended. Sometimes just combine the two. I do want to combine the two. It just looks, and I do want more of the graphic style, especially for this piece, but it looks so weird in my art to my brain when I leave hard edges. See, like I don't know where to end it. I need to oh, now I brought it down too far. What am I doing? Let's try this. And then I end up smoothing my edges to try to deal with that. Okay, that's a little bit better. It'll leave kind of a bit of a hard edge like here and there, but not, well, it'll be hard edge. That's okay. Yeah, you do feel like your talent surely is that you have the talent. It's just not natural. You had to work for it. Yeah, it was so funny in your video when you were talking about um, my art and how I had come to it. I thought it was so sweet and so kind, but also girl, it did not come natural at all. I didn't know how to do anything in art when I started 5 years ago. My stuff was very childlike looking, and I look back on it and it definitely has some charm. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was bad. Sometimes I think of it as bad, but I'm trying not to because I think it had a charm. I just didn't know anything about art. And I just felt so passionate that I wanted to make it that I just kept learning. I watched 10 million tutorials and tried to figure out how to do the things I saw other people doing. And I just practiced and practiced until it came. And you're saying that I picked it up fast, but I don't think I did. I really don't know. I feel like, I mean, maybe it seems fast, but I've seen people painting for like 2 and 3 years that their work is extremely um, advanced, let's say, whereas mine doesn't have that quality. I don't think it even has that quality yet, but it's what I like about where my art has come to is this. I can do the things that I want to do, and I'm not frustrated by my lack of knowing what to do. It may not always turn out the way I want it to, but that's okay. I can like paint people, and if they don't look um, exactly how I want them to look, I'll take that because they look. I'm able to express that within myself, like, and so one day I know my art will be quote unquote like better, and I'll be able to just sit down and make things that are astronomically good because anybody given enough time and enough effort, they get there, right? Um, but I'm very content with where things are now because I can really grow with them and I can sit down and paint and be satisfied with the outcome. I see all the imperfections and stuff, but I have enough tools in the tool bag to like get there. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, are these guys dry yet? I'm kind of like not sure. I need to go darker with her hair and like the shadow areas, but I've been using, maybe I'll mix in some black or something because I've been using the Kuretake paints and um, they have white in them, so they're a lot lighter. It's harder to get them dark. Excuse me as I blow my nose. I keep forgetting. Here, I'll mute for maybe I shouldn't risk muting. I'm not sure what I should do. Let me also check my battery, you guys. Can I check my battery while I'm on here? Okay, I just don't want, I'm doing fine. We're still in the game. Okay. Susan says, your observations are wonderful. You do photo references very well. And then you lean toward more whimsical as just a style or preference. No, yes, I like the whimsical. I like the cuteness and stuff. It's like for the portraits, I haven't quite gotten there with being able to do that, but for the little like critters and the mushrooms and things like that, plants, I've been able to pull that off a bit more. Um, and then Evie says, what brand is your brush? This little brush is a silver black velvet. It's a size 0. And I love it for small paintings like this because you can really do details very well. But it's real floppy, so it doesn't have much snap. And then Mello says, I loved hanging out and listening. I have to get going. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you, Mello. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to watch your live stream later while I paint. And Artfully says, your mushrooms are really nice. And Ike says, have a lovely evening, Mello. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're all in like different time zones. That's so fun. I think the internet is the coolest thing ever, that we have all these like different time zones and we can all get together nonetheless. All right, which color is black in here? Is this black? Let me see. This is the other Kuretake palette. Let's get some black. Oh yeah, that's black. And Evie says, I love the snappy brushes when I started. Now I like the softer ones. Yes, girl. Yes, that was exactly my trajectory too. I loved the control that the snappier brushes gave me, but then as I continued to grow, I liked kind of the, I don't know, the feel of the, what's the word, like it just felt more dancer-like are these words. I felt like I was doing a dance with the floppier brushes. I can like, it feels more artistic to my hand. And I've learned to control them as well as the snappier brushes. And that's been fun. Let me bring this down so you guys can see my palette a little bit. Let's see. Evie says, in my almost 6 months of experience, I went through all my brushes and divided them last night. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Okay, how do they compare to Princeton? The softer is more expressive. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it feels more expressive. Like I can, I don't know, like glide with it more. And also when I'm trying not to lift up the layers beneath, it's also easier in that regard. And Princeton is, let's see, how do this, I think that the silver black velvet are a mix, whereas the Princeton brushes I think are a synthetic that's like trying to behave like animal hair, and the silver black velvet are that type of brush mixed with actual like squirrel hair or something. And I think they all have their place. I definitely think they each and all have their place. All right, let's see. And Susan says she loves the snappy for gouache and floppy for wash. You go, girl. That is so cute. Oh, no, 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 Toon. Do not be barking in my live stream. Thank you very much. We will have no barking. No barking. There's a kid outside on a scooter. She's like, no, you did not write a letter 2 weeks in advance and request permission to scooter by my house. Toon is Gladys. We call her Gladys. She's always like looking out the window with her binoculars, complaining about what the kids in the neighborhood are doing. Yeah, she has a lot of opinions. And then let's see. Evie says, I read that they're a blend. I just haven't used them yet. And yes, Susan, I have them divided, so I have some for gouache. I think that Evie, your skill with gouache is like quite impressive. And I don't know if it's just because you kind of like embraced it so early on that you didn't build up like any sort of intimidation about it. You just went for it. And now it's super easy for you. I should have gone to gouache earlier because I find it very intimidating. And I really enjoy it, but when it works out, but I find it terribly frustrating when it doesn't. And I have a hard time overcoming that. Yes, Evie, Gladys Kravitz. You got the reference, girl. She's always complaining about the neighbors. Ugh, they did this, they did that. Oi, we can't take it. That's Toon. When we walk her, she'll just like stare someone down and bark directly in their face. Like, Toon, yeah, we get it. We get it. You're in charge of the neighborhood watch. She has a lot of opinions, and you can't tell her anything. She knows the answers to how life should work. If you're not going to listen, she doesn't want to talk to you. Yeah, squash is hard. Transoms are great with gouache. Oh, artfully, Susan, what are transoms? Is that a brush brand? I think I actually have heard of it. I think it is a brush brand. Yeah, her opinions are her truth. You got that, girl. Yeah, Toon has a lot of opinions and she is not afraid to share them. Just ask her. That's so funny. Yeah, she's my feisty little girl. These be some blocky eyebrows, let me tell you. She's like 2016 eyebrows. All right, Transon. Nick Pro. So they're brushes, girl? Is that are they just like brands of brushes? I want the bottom part of her hair to be more like in shadow. I could for sure be using a bigger brush, but I kind of like using a tiny brush. You may have seen in like some of my videos, Like, I use a tiny brush, and, like, I totally, advocate for using a large brush for watercolor. It lends itself to looseness and, um, that flow, but out of the other side of my mouth, like I said, I love to, use a tiny brush. Probably just because I love the feeling of the paint on the paper. Oh my gosh, Shirley, in your video from yesterday, when you were talking about how much you love oil and how you love the brush feel and how like watercolor is not for you, but you love the look of it, but it's just not for you because it of the way it feels. I was, like, laughing so hard because that's exactly how I feel about, like, watercolor, and I know that Susan, Creative Ambitions Art Susan, feels that way about oil, like, she's quite good at painting in oil, but she doesn't like the brush feel of it, so she tends to, um, shy away from it for that reason, and I found it so interesting how we're all so diverse in our tactile enjoyment of art making and like what it feels like to us and what a gift that is, you know, like if everybody like loved the same thing that would suck, we wouldn't see, you know what I mean. I don't have to over explain. Okay, let's see. um, and Susan says, any golden synthetic Taclon, soft but snappy. And Artfully says, yes, good, inexpensive. Love my Nick Pro. And Evie says, artfully, Susan, I will never forget your birch tree video at Christmas in front of the barn. I just thought of it. Totally unrelated. And then Link says, isn't it so funny? Yes. Yes. Oh, I remember the birch tree and barn that you did, artfully, Susan. Heretofore now forever being known as Artfully Susan. And I also remember Artfully Susan, the piece you made. Hold on one sec. The piece you made from that photo. Ooh, I just hit my mic. From that photo of you driving home, maybe from work, where you saw the sunset and took a picture of it and then painted it. It was so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I was like a beginner to watercolor, I definitely could not have pulled that off. Nope. We all have such exciting like skills, and I just love how with YouTube we can like share them and talk about them and be like in our little group, and I love it. It just makes me so happy. It's like a personality, what we choose to paint with. Absolutely. It is, and it's so interesting how like our own personal like tactile uh, feedback from whatever our brain likes and doesn't correlates with that and then lends to like beautiful art. I don't know, dude. It's just so exciting. Oh, what was I going to say too about um do you ever paint using oh, I need more brown in that. Using oil pastels, Shirley? Evie says, I met Artfully Susan before I ever started painting, and it came full circle later. Isn't that wonderful? That is so crazy. And I know that. Like, I know you guys were in your group of ladies that started your channels like at the same time, but I didn't know that till later. And somehow, like, I mean, I wonder, what did you think about when you first saw Artfully Susan making art as her channel, like as her theme of her channel? Um, was it interesting to you then, or it just hadn't, the bug hadn't bit yet, obviously, but do you remember being like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea? Or was it just sort of like, oh, you were happy for her, but it wasn't, you know, even relevant to you as a possibility? Let's see. Artfully says, for sure, Linkus. And says, is this StreamYard or YouTube? Artfully, it is YouTube. It is not StreamYard. And Artfully says, yes, Evie took off for sure. And Link says, I wish I could just hang out with all of you at the kitchen table and paint. And Artfully says, very talented. You know what? My dream, literally, Evie was just saying that she was going to go to the park with her supplies. And I was like, I want to go to the park with you and bring supplies and plein air paint. And I would love to sit around a table and paint with everybody. Like, that seems like such a dream. I think like one day maybe we'll all have like an art meetup or something. I don't think it's that unheard of. I think it could happen. Like, and I will be praying that that day comes and we will all enjoy it so much. I think we should all pray for it, that a way is made for us to all like have a central point we can hang out and like do an Airbnb for like a long weekend and all just like sit around and paint. Um, Tune, what's the prob? We're an hour and a half from your lunchtime. I know that sounds late, but they have breakfast and lunch slash dinner. So eh, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Tune starts to beep about it like a good hour beforehand to make sure I don't miss it. Cause I've ever missed her lunchtime ever in my life. No. All right, let's give you covers. Maybe that's what you need. You want covers? Yeah, that's what you needed. Ernie, you're being such a good boy. Thank you so much, Ernie. You're such a sweet boy. Let's see. Evie says, I'm sure I heard Susan did art. And I was like, that's nice, and moved on. Then I got interested and felt so foolish. She's very good. I had no idea the fun I was missing. And Susan says, oh my gosh, just give me the time and place and I'll be there. Same, dude. And Link says, I think about the oil pastels. I don't use them, but I'd like to use them for plein air. And yes, that would be amazing. You guys, I don't think it's impossible. I think it could literally happen. We'll all just keep it in our minds and in our prayers, and one day we'll all get to hang out and paint together. Can you imagine all the memories we could make? Oh, it would be so cool. And we could like put it on our channels, like little clips from it. And dude, I think it will happen. I do. Yeah, I don't have any friends in real life who make art. There's this woman who works in radiology, and she had heard about the fact that I paint um, at my hospital radiology. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. And I guess because I've done some commissions for like people at work, so sometimes people talk about it. And she came up to me and was asking me about it, and she was like, I would love to have make a group of, like an in-person group of people to paint together. I was like, I am here for it. And we exchanged numbers and we haven't talked. So I don't know, maybe she decided now isn't a good time or something. But the idea of painting with real live people is so appealing to me. Like, I think art is meant to be shared, not just in looking at it, but in creating it. And I'm very grateful that we have the technology we do so that like we can do it like this at least, right? Um, ooh, I don't want to mess up this part of the hair because I'm just like babbling and not paying attention. Yeah, exactly. Um, yep, you guys, this is fun. So what does anyone want to talk about now that I've like told you guys the story? I feel like I'm going to for sure forget stuff about this weekend, and that's going to be annoying later, but I'll put it in a post maybe when I post this finished piece. It'll probably be like in a week or two, and maybe I'll post the other piece. I don't know what to do with her shoulders. They're like super muddy because I had a green there and then I lifted it. um, let's see. Susan says, I'll be going back to classes at the Oregon Society of Artists in July, hopefully. I love having an art family. You learn so much, says Link. You guys, Susan, Creative Ambitions Art, just had a piece of art in a gallery I think it was there, yes, at the Oregon Society of Artists. Um, and she has a video on her channel. It's just a short video, like 5 minutes, where she walks you through the gallery showing, and her piece won and it won honorable mention, which is flipping amazing. And honestly, I think it should have won a bigger prize because I liked it way more than any of the pieces that won. Not that they weren't good, they were beautiful also, but this piece, this floral with the light shining through these roses, you guys, it was so beautiful. You have to take a look at that video. And the piece also sold like right away. And sorry, my hands are so itchy all the time. Anyway, oh, okay. Oh, you saw it, Link. Okay, I'm so glad. Yes, so everyone claps to Susan Creative Ambitions. She's extraordinarily talented. She deals with her own struggles with her health and her vision, and yet is capable of making art that outshines, like, if she didn't have vision issues, I would say these pieces are incredibly beautiful that she makes. And then you add to it that she's kind of swimming against the current with having to use her vision under very distracting, like she has to see through like things always moving and only 10% of her full vision in order to create art. And it's so beautiful. Like the pieces that she makes stand alone as gorgeous art, unequivocally, objectively beautiful art. You add in the disability, as it would be called, of being visually impaired, and it's astounding. The human spirit is very strong, and she reflects that so clearly. So I just wanted to say that. And yeah, if you haven't seen that video of hers, do take a look at it. I'm so proud of her. Like, what an accomplishment. And going through all the like stuff to get your piece in a gallery, like it's not easy. Like I can't even imagine. I'm so scattered. The idea of it makes me like my throat close up a little bit. But she did it all and she won. She like placed, I guess is the word for it. I don't know what the proper terminology is. Um, I think she's awesome. Okay, she wrote, yeah, it was kind of awkward, but kind of cool at the same time when everybody audibly gasped as I walked up to receive the award, LOL. And then artfully says, she's amazing. What do you mean? Why did they gasp? They thought you couldn't walk or what? Oh, because you had your cane, I bet. And they were like, oh, her vision is impaired. What is going on? Okay. I'm guessing that's what it was. And she's gonna, I hope that like when you do your talk, maybe if you feel comfortable recording even the audio from the talk, or especially if you want to be on video, you might think about putting that on your channel too. That would be amazing. Because she's giving a talk, you guys, on the 17th. I'm sorry, I'm bad with dates. Fill us in, lady, on when that's going to be. Yeah, because you carry a white cane. Yeah, that's what I was guessing, because of your cane. Yeah, they were probably like, how's she doing that? What a great testimony that is. Yes, artfully says that her vision, cane. Yes, I remember going to an art store in her video and was amazed to know she had such awesome artwork given that. Yes, yeah, her video of going to the art store, you get like a tiny little sneak peek of Susan with her cane. And Susan's like the cutest too. She's like this tiny little thing. She's like, 100 pounds soaking wet and such cute little fashion. And she's like trucking along with her little cane. And she's very adorable. I don't know, but I love her. So maybe I'm biased. All right. What are we doing here? I need to add some more brown because I made that like way too black by the Now it's too watery. See, this is what happens when you just throw things down and you're not thinking about it. I kind of wanted to blend that edge. It was looking a little too edgy, edge-like, edge lord. Just kidding. Okay. It's like 1000% not the meaning of that word. All right. Oops. Now that's too dark again. Let's add in some more lighter brown. Do, do, do. Oh, I probably need to darken up the... I'm not sure. Okay, guys. Well, I don't know. I guess like maybe I'm ready to hop off. I've been on here a long time. Are you giving me eyeballs, Susan, because I said something wrong? I'm sorry. I never say things right. I'm very awkward. I apologize. And I never want to like make anybody feel uncomfortable with my awkwardness. Oh, you know what I was going to say too? Susan and I are going to try to do a live stream from her channel. We hadn't yet done one that way because she wanted to get more practice with it before going on her channel. So we're going to do that. But also, part of the reason that I can't do, okay, I want to do lives where it's not originating from my Wi-Fi. So if anybody wants to do a live like Link, also you, and also any of you guys, Evie, I still want to do a live stream with you badly. And I think you think I don't, but I really, really do. But so if anybody wants to do one, if you're comfortable originating the stream from your like camera or phone, what we think based on what Link was saying or Shirley was saying from what her husband thinks is that my system is just maybe overloaded um, with too many things. And since I'm originating the live stream and trying to add in a second person and stuff, that's probably part of why it doesn't work. Um, so until I can like not be recording from my phone or find out another reason for it or something, I can only do like dual lives if someone else originates it, is what I'm getting at. So you guys hit me up. I am open to any time during the week that somebody wants to do it. If I'm free, I love the idea of painting together. So please, please do. And we'll do it. And Susan says, I love the spread, especially with the leaves and everything around it. It's very ethereal. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. Is that your way of saying that the spread's okay, but I did annoy you about how I talked about stuff? I'm so sorry. Okay. And then also, Evie says, I will do a live. And Link, I know you want to do one too. You're not sure about your setup, but you should, I will email you my number. I'll look, do you have an email on your channel? If you do, I'll email you my phone number and we can talk about how to like set up ahead of time to do a live stream together. It's very easy. And I know relative to your husband, that if you have to go and help take care of anything he needs, that's perfectly fine. If you hop off at any time, the live stream would just keep going. It would just be like me. And the cool thing is that you can always like jump back on. I think even if you're the one who originates it, but we can talk about all that. And oh, okay. Susan says, no, my friend, I know it comes from a place of love. You're all good. Well, regardless, I'm going to, for the second time in this live stream, I'm going to say I'm going to be more careful about how I talk about things because I just never know. Like, am I being weird or like saying too much or offending somebody? You know, it's hard too when it's like a one-way conversation and you can't see the other person so they can like give you the eye and be like, oh, don't talk about that or whatever. So I'm going to resort to only talking about my own things, except to briefly give shout outs to other people because I really love to do that. But I don't want to do it wrong, dude. All right. So what was I saying? Okay, so Link, yes. Okay, I will we'll talk about how to set up for a live stream so we can do it. And Evie, you just let me know anytime you want to do it. I know you're all set up already, and we will do it. And otherwise, I guess I'm going to jump off. This has been wonderful. I've loved it. Um, Oh, Link says she's way worse, that I'm fine. I don't think you're way worse, at least not in any of your videos. I mean, I think you're great. But I know it's like, it feels like, ooh, should I have said that? Is it too much? Is it not the right thing? But please know, if I ever say something, like I'll never say something obviously that's like overtly private. I promise you, I would just never do that. And I'm very good at keeping secrets. You just have to like tell me, like, don't ever say anything about this. I never ever will. So please don't feel like that's going to happen just like willy nilly. It's more like about the gray area stuff where I'm like, oh, and then there's this, and I don't know how to say this. So, anyway, well, this has been an awkward ending. It's been so wonderful and fun. And hey, Artfully Susan, if you ever want to do a live stream, I am down to do them with you too. And anyone I haven't mentioned, please don't feel like because I didn't say your name that I don't include you, because I would love it with anybody. So yeah, not that you care. Okay, moving along. I hope everybody has a great day. I will get going. Yes, it was a great gathering and I had such a good time. Thanks you guys for hearing my lengthy stories and all the stuff. And this was my heart needed this. So thank you. And for anyone watching, just thank you for being here. And I hope to be going live again a little bit more, hopefully next week, if things are a little bit more settled around here with the dog and everything. So please take care. I love you guys so much. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all really soon. Bye, Ike. Thank you. Bye bye. Let's see.